Listen.
Oh, we're gonna start off like that. That's what we about to do.
Listen.
What did we watch? That's what I need. That's my first question. What did we watch? I need to have a clear understanding because I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Normally I watch it twice. I didn't even do that to myself. I wasn't gonna do it this time.
Listen, I got
You got some notes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I wasn't gonna do that to myself.
12 legal pad pages of notes.
That's the 8 by. That's 8 by. What is that? That's the long ones. Lord Jesus.
12.
Are you in the car?
12 pages of notes, y'all.
It was a lot. Happy homecoming.
I know. I'm at home, child. I can't do.
I'm in Jackson.
Are you?
Go for a minute. Why am I always like somewhere when it's time to do this? Like
In an undisclosed location, no less.
Mm,
You're like Carmen San Diego. Like
you are. You are.
he's like, where Carmen San Diego is in the building.
Right.
So I'm just like, listen, this was 2 hours. So here's what I really thought, though. Let me just be honest. I thought that this was going to be a really good episode to talk about the unanswered questions that everybody has. Because we're going to be abbreviated tonight, my highs and lows were, I'm glad that there were some things that Dr. Pepper was just like, hey, bro, this ain't going to work out. The thing that I have a problem with is that I still feel like let's just talk specifically about Eric and Virginia. I ain't everybody else, we pretty much know they running the mill. I still feel like everybody feels as though Virginia is the problem, and they're not really seeing the controlling aspect of Eric to its extent that we see it as the viewers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like Eric is like, bruh, he'll say some of these things. He sprinkles things with a little bit of truth or whatever. And then they see, like, even when it came to the drinking thing, if you notice, when things escalate, it's when Eric is drinking, not when Virginia drinking.
Not when Virginia's drinking. Virginia's fine. She ain't new to this. She true to this. Okay. Virginia ain't drunk like that. Now Las Vegas, they was both lit because they was drinking all day, every day. It's the honeymoon. Let's get wasted. However, he can't hold his liquor. He cannot. So because he can't hold his liquor, he acts a whole fool. He shows his entire ass every time that man drinks.
And then he started apologizing. He go on an apology tour. But he's still condescending. He still does a lot of things in a controlling way. Because let's just cut through it. Let me just cut to it real quick. When he was talking about wanting to spend time with Virginia, he was talking about a weekend. Dr. Pepper gave him a script to follow, and he went the hell off and did his own thing. She never said, tell her to cancel her plans. She said, ask for a weekend. Virginia replied, I don't mind, but you're going to have to tell me and let's go and make a plan about it. Let's do a week. I'd like a week's notice. I don't think that's
possible. That's not. Right. But he was like, that wasn't possible because of his schedule. I was like,
I'm like, you
understanding, right? Because don't they get to set their own schedules?
This is what I don't know how they do their schedules, but what I do, I used to have a friend that I used to have a friend that worked for an airline that would say we can get our schedules up to a month in advance,
They
right?
can. I do know that.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you can do that in advance, then you can say, "Hey, I'd like to be off the third week of whatever month."
Yeah.
And you can establish that. Look, I need to be off the third week of whatever.
This
The
is my
third
date weekend with my wife. That's what I'm
week.
doing. He
Got
can
married.
set his schedule.
I don't think that's too much to ask for a week's notice. She said, I don't want to have to cancel my plans with my friends. I think that that is also acceptable to say that you gone half the month.
You gone.
I've established kind of, pattern with my friends. I'm not saying I don't want to spend time with you, but what I'm saying is that I need you to respect the fact that I already had things going on, just like you had things going on. And his whole thing is when it's not done to his liking, he defaults to, well, there's the door. I think that's my biggest problem with Eric. No, well, hell, that's one of my biggest problems with
Scott
Eric.
Peterson. That's his name.
Did you see the graphics today with them grasses on?
Girl.
Thumbnail today. Anyway, but yeah, he had them grasses on, and it was just like anybody else, like, we're not doing this.
We're not.
No, we're not doing it.
We
So,
shouldn't have to.
I want them to not. I feel like, though, because of who Virginia is and who Eric is, I think they are going to say yes on decision day. I don't think they're going to make it past decision day.
You don't think past decision day?
I think
give them like 6 months.
2 years.
Okay.
But no, I give it 2 years.
That's fair. Because I was saying, I was gonna say 6 months.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 years because I think that what's gonna happen is we're gonna see that Virginia's evolving. And it won't be, I don't think that her evolution is going to include keeping him in her life as much as it's going to be self-discovery time. Because I feel like once she finds a therapist, she's going to walk away from him.
I need her to do that because I understand some of her anxiety. Mm-hmm. He's on this I want kids type of tip. And she was like, he want to have them immediately. And I really don't even know if I want to have kids. And I'm thinking to myself, I default back to these experts. Because if y'all handpick these people for one another, we already saw the train wreck that is Chris and Paige. Did y'all not look at what these people asked for? If this man want kids and this girl said, I really don't know, why would you put them together thinking that that's gonna change? She has real issues as far as her parents. She did not have a good childhood. Basically, her mom and dad both deserted her, left her with some aunt or cousin or whomever because their situation didn't work out. So she doesn't have a very good example of marriage and how that could be. Her whole thing is distorted. So first of all, again, I'm just gonna always go back to I need to understand where the hell the experts were during this whole time. We ain't had no FaceTime available, no Zoom, no StreamYard. Y'all couldn't do none of this. I'm bothered by that.
Yeah,
I'm really bothered by it.
This season just seems really kind of thrown together, but I think some of the things that was interesting when Virginia's sister came and she also pointed out, Virginia's sister also pointed out she hadn't been in very many relationships, but Virginia's 26, 28, 26.
No, 26. She's 26. That's the time to play. Let me also say this, because what I need y'all folk in the groups to stop doing is clowning this girl for drinking. When I was in my 20s, okay, I still drink now, but I was a drinker, okay? It was nothing for Patron and whatnot to enter my body on a regular and a consistent basis.
Let's go back to when we were those ages now. Let's think about this. When folks was drinking Hypnotic like it tastes good.
Or the blue top, the blue Burnett's. Or
Paul Masson.
Mad Dog 2020.
Like y'all know this stuff is nasty, but that's what you do in your if to me, if you are a social person and that's part of your particular culture, like I said, white girls do stuff differently from black girls, number one. But number two, um, this is what they do. You know, not saying like, you know, you gotta accept it, but I feel like this. I think that once she gets to a certain age, she just gonna slow down. I mean, naturally your body will be like, you know what, I don't
After I thought it was gonna happen after I had the first child. It did.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. I was still in my 20s, and I was like, "No, need a drink." Whenever opportunity I got to go to the club, I drank. Wherever I went, friend house. Oh, do I need to bring a bottle or something? We drinking. I was still there. Now by the second child, I was like, "Okay, well, child,
ain't get
I
wrong
don't know
with
if I can continue to do this anymore." I was in my 30s at that point because
and
my
things
children are a little far apart in age, but I slowed down. Yeah.
I think that yeah, and so my biggest problem is that people clown her for being exactly who they were at that age a lot of times. Also for asserting herself and saying things like, I don't want to do this. I want to be married, but if marriage means that I have to not do all of these things
that you want me to do,
middle ground.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like she pointed out, when things don't go his way, he resorts to an ultimatum. I don't want to be with anybody that every time I don't jump through whatever hoop that they're gonna like, oh, it's ultimatum time. Well, you know what? You can just get out of it. So in her mind, she's not feeling like he wants to be in it for the long haul because he's always talking ultimatum. So I mean, y'all can say whatever y'all want to about Virginia. I think she'll calm down. But I do think that he has a control issue and, whatever. Let me skip over here to Brianna and Vincent real quick. Vincent is broke.
I was so sad, but you beat me to it.
Guys, listen. I think Vincent really doesn't like the idea that Brianna is comfortable. She's financially comfortable. She's made decisions and she makes enough money that she can do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And I think that's a problem for him because he keeps talking about I want to be a provider, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't ask for a provider necessarily. She wants a provider in a different way, not necessarily financially. She just wants someone that loves her.
Yeah. She wants a mate. He was really, really, and I saw this in the groups too, and that pissed me off. $900 a month on makeup, bitch. Listen,
makeup.
Let me make six figures. I'm having a whole makeup team. My wardrobe will be updated, not monthly, weekly. Okay, I'm gonna get the shoes I want. I'm gonna get the bags I want. If I have the money to make. What are you making the money for? I'm not saying I'm blowing all my money.
Right.
I'm going to save. Because she said, yeah, I have savings. But Nick, what I'm going to do with the rest of this money? I got no kids.
She said that from day one. I've made choices to where I can relax. I can have fun. I can do this. I can do that. She's already establishing her relationship. I found it interesting that she kept when she was talking about her clothing budget. Because, I was like, everything else, I don't see you budging on when you talking about anything that's beauty, hair, nails, skin, that stuff right there. You don't touch it. She was like, all right, I can scale back a little bit on clothes.
Yeah.
And I thought that
$450 a month on $450 a month on clothes. He was like, $400. Yes. I'm a professional.
I want a new bag.
Not just that, I work in a world where I have to be this person. I'm an engineer.
But then also, so let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about it. And it was something I shared earlier this week that Steve Harvey said, women, it just costs more to be a woman.
It does.
And he was saying, like, when you come together, you always make sure that your budget for the woman, if it's husband, wife, if it's, a hetero relationship, make sure that your wife has way more disposable income than you do, because it just costs more to be a woman. And don't nobody want to have to ask nobody, especially if you go to work. Even if you don't go to work, you don't want to ask nobody, can I get my nails and all this kind of stuff. And I thought those are really important. But I also know this, as a woman, as a married woman, as a daughter of parents where my mother stayed in the, my mom was stay at home mom, my dad worked full time.
Right.
Nobody wants to be in a position where they have to ask another adult, can they do something?
I don't care if you're doing that. Let me tell you the dynamics that I have seen looking at married couples. I see some, they split things down the middle, and that's fine if that's what y'all decide y'all want to do. But the ones that I especially like, and this does not mean that this is what I'm looking for. This ain't no deal breaker for me. But I have had friends who they've gotten married, and the husband was like, I'll take care of the mortgage and the utility bill, and you take care of the insurance and the cable bill, and the mortgage and the utility might be $2,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on where you stay. But the little cable bill and the insurance may not cost as much. And I like the way they do that, because they know their wives go get their hair done, their nails done. They have things that they have to do, and
you just not expecting those sacrifices. I remember when I first started doing parties and stuff, because I had been at home for so many years, just being in the thick of raising a whole bunch of damn kids. When I started doing parties, I felt like my contribution of I'm paying the cable bill and some of the phone, a little bit of the phone bill was like a huge contribution. But it was for me, because I didn't have the potential to earn, what he was earning.
Yeah.
Stepping into these things. But even also, what a lot of folks don't understand is that when you have these situations, these spousal situations, especially you talking about I'm having kids in the future and everything, you have to be prepared for the fact that you got to consider the fact that maybe she's not going to be making or going back to the workforce anytime soon either. So remember all those things when you making these ultimatums. But I feel like Brianna's a planner when it comes to things like that. When you want something, then she plans for it. And that's why she's very picky on some things. So I get that part of her. He was just really, she's like, I'm not frugal, and I got it. She's like, I like things. I like nice things. I like experiences. I like traveling. I want to be courted still, even though we're married. And I think that the fact that she's holding him to that standard of we ain't just gonna be Netflixing and chilling for the rest of this relationship, I think that's throwing him for a loop as well, because he seems to me as a person, he's that passive aggressive controlling. Whereas I'm just gonna keep pouting and throwing these fits until you give me what I want. And that's what he's been used to doing in relationships. Now, do I think that they need to come to terms on some things? Yes, absolutely. I could feel it, like this $9,200 monthly expenses. Okay. Look like that most of those are hers and she's able to handle them.
And she can pay for them. And that's my thing. If you're allowing her to pay for them, okay, we get a house. If you want to take care of the mortgage, by all means, house have at it. I'm gonna need you to get your weight up. That's what I'm gonna need you to do. Because your income compared to hers, y'all ain't gonna be staying in whatever the counties are with the nice big houses where Nene and them stay. You ain't gonna be able to stay out there if you just relying on your woman to take care of you want to be a provider. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's funny though with the two of them, because if he keeps talking about how good he is with finances and everything to me, every fiber of me tells me that he is not, that he is he's a gambler, not even he's not a calculated risk taker. He gambles. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing he just started his business. This is what, August, September at this point. He just started his business in February of 2020.
Yeah.
So your business ain't barely 6 months old. Good. And so now you looking at maybe having to provide for her. She done told you, I don't need your money, boo thing.
Mm-mm.
I need other things.
Right.
Money won't be one of them.
Right.
And you know, if you could just, if we could work together, and then when she always says let's work together, that also makes, for some reason, that gets on his
Yeah,
nerve.
I don't understand why he don't like that.
You've already gotten yourself together by the time I got to you. Now, what if she was one of them kind of women? Then he would have been mad about that too.
Yeah,
He would say she don't support my dreams, like he said his ex didn't support his dream. So what you want?
He can't have it. He can't have it always. He can't. Let me also point this out because I feel like you're gonna move on from them. I thought it was interesting when they were talking about children, how Brianna, and I was shocked that Brianna was afraid to have them. I First of all, he wants to have kids right away. Tell me what that's about. Y'all want to have kids right away. Can we enjoy being a couple first? Can we enjoy being in a relationship? Can we get to be coupled up before we start having kids? I'm looking at one of the girls from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I didn't know she was a blogger on, because I had never heard of the girl before she got the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her ex is getting ready to get a divorce. They were YouTubers. That's how they met. They had been together for 9 years and they're getting ready to get a divorce, or they're getting a divorce. And so, but he said they started really having kids like immediately. You know, they didn't really get with each other and really enjoy one another before they started popping out babies. So I think it's fair to say, hey, I would like to enjoy a relationship with you, get in good with you, and then let's start having kids. You know, y'all are still young. It's not like y'all just got married at 52. Y'all been waiting all y'all lives, and now y'all decided to get married. It's not that situation. Nobody's biological clock is ticking. Y'all are still young.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually wanted to say, here's where I feel like the entire show has failed Black women when it comes to this show. Number one, we don't have enough space and voices on this show as Black women to talk about things that really affect us. Black women come into this world already set back 10, 12 paces, because a lot of things that affect us health-wise are hereditary. A lot of things affect us are economic. A lot of things that affect us are cultural. A lot of things that affect us are never looked at as factors that we have to consider as women or as Black women when you're talking about walking into relationships and how it weighs out and how this relationship is going to play out. I was a little disappointed in Pastor Cal when she was talking about being pregnant and being a mom, and he was just like, oh, you know, that's a natural fear, this and that. But I'm like, she just said, I got high blood pressure.
I have
that's hypertension. Not even high blood pressure. I have hypertension. Born, and pretty much I was born. I don't care how healthy I am, how skinny I am, all this stuff. I'm never gonna get rid of this. And that worries me, because I may not even make it through a pregnancy.
Right. Because that's bad. That's dangerous.
Baby may not make it, or I may not make it. That is a real fear that we have to really appreciate for someone like that. They're saying, I love kids, this and that. But I can't say that I'm excited, because I'm more fearful than anything.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, well, no, you're going to be a great mom. Don't worry about it. No.
It's not the same fear that Virginia has. It's an actual health fear that I have.
I'm going to bring somebody into this world that I may not actually be able to help raise. That's a different fear. The other thing is,
or that person that I'm trying to bring into the world may not even make it, so I could possibly miscarry,
or come into the world with a whole lot more complications that I'm not ready, and my spouse may not be ready to handle. So those are all real fears for me. I wish they had suggested her talking to a healthcare professional and asking him to come along so they can talk about family planning at this point in their relationship. I wish that they had brought in an expert that's an actual medical doctor that deals with
Yeah.
women of color and their medical issues. Because think about if she says she had fibroids. We talk about this offline a lot of times. How fibroids are things that really affect Black women and
Right.
fertility, things like that. So I wish
Right.
that conversation was had a little bit more weight to it, so that they can
Absolutely.
really talk about it and really come to terms with we may have to start considering right now that we know that we want to have kids 2-3 years down the line. We may have to start planning to have a surrogate, or we may have to
Yeah.
plan that I may be on bed rest the entire pregnancy, or we
Which
may
means
have
you're gonna have to get your weight up, partner, because that means
right
I'm not gonna be at work.
because that you want to provide and you want to be an entrepreneur. You may have to go back to part-time and pick you up a full-time gig, so you can be able to balance all this stuff. Because as much as I've done this, and I'm pretty sure even at the age she is, she got a pretty nice 401k and other savings. But I don't want to have to draw from that in order to
No,
bring. How many kids you talking about? You talking about 4 kids, bruh?
I want to have 4 kids,
4
and I want to
different
do it. They cost
and
money. It's all cute.
worse.
It's all cute and all. I just had some customers come in the office today. Just had a baby in March, at the end of March. Cute little thing, cute as a butt. They cost money. They not cheap.
No, they not.
You got to buy stuff for them.
The older they get,
they grow. My boys, I have to when they were in school doing uniforms and stuff. Josh had just gotten to the point where he wasn't growing as frequently because he about almost 6 foot tall now. So he fine. He where he gonna be. Jalen, on the other hand, I got to buy you. The pandemic. I know it was a really bad thing, but it was such a blessing for me because I would be buying uniforms all over again after I done bought them for the beginning of the school because this man is growing.
Yeah,
they don't stop.
They don't stop. They get on my nerves. They eat.
Right.
For what? Who asked you to eat? Like so. Because he's talking about 4. You got 2 boys. I got 4 and 3 girls. So you talking about 4 kids? 4 kids, dude. It's not easy, especially when you. Then the cute little thing he kind of talked about was budget. Baby, ain't no budget when it comes to kids. Let me tell you something. You can never afford kids. Okay, how much money you can't afford them?
Nope. They break some glasses. You got to go pay for them. They might need some braces. Don't let their teeth be messed up. Don't let them children yank their teeth out their head when they losing the teeth. Then the teeth grow in crook. You got to go get braces. These are things that cost money. Don't let them want to play sports or play an instrument.
Activities. Pick up one instrument, put one down. Pick up another instrument. Taking them back and forth, sir. You're not ready.
You're not. The way my gas is set up right now, I'm talking about this child. I want to run track because I need to get ready for football season. I'm driving to Eads and far out Cordova every Saturday for a track meet that I got to sit there all day for. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to be the supportive mama that I am, but guess what? And that costs money. It costs money.
Yeah.
You ain't going to...
That's it's a lot of things to consider. He seems like one of the ones that he don't want to budge on the number of kids. I'm like, y'all be lucky to have, pop out a set of twins and go about your business. Right. Especially when you're talking about health. If it was anything else, then, maybe there could be some conversation happening, but she has high blood pressure. That's a concern for me, is when you have to put your life on the line. I mean, they said, childbirth is the closest you get to death. To death. And so to have to put yourself on the line, and then you already start out she's going to be high risk regardless.
Yep.
They could have started at 20, and if she already has hypertension, she's already high risk. So anyway, hopefully they'll, whatever.
I don't know
Yeah.
about the previews though that I saw. When I saw that preview, I wanted to throw the remote at the television.
I want to do that
Yeah.
every week though with them. But
Huh?
anyway.
You said what?
I said I want to do that with them anyway.
Oh
Uh
yeah,
yeah.
definitely that.
Let me let me scooch on back over here. And I thought that Dr. Pepper did a good job with Eric as far as that dog was concerned. Because the one thing I just want to talk about this and move on to the next couple. But he kept talking about being, taking care of the dog and everything. And she asked him just outright, "What do you need? Why do you need to be this dog's dad?" And then she also asked, what if it was a child from a previous relationship where you just decided that you're going to just take over? That wouldn't be right or fair. And it seems like that kind of helped him back off a little bit when it comes to the dog. The problem is Eric really think he know more than everybody.
He
So
does. That's a problem.
that's the problem.
Your dog is my dog too. Doesn't work for me
No, no.
at all.
Like, when it comes to when you are merging families together and you have a child that is from a previous relationship, um or even just blending, yeah, was from a previous relationship. Even when you have a spouse come in and take over, and it may be even from when that child is small, the reality is this is not his biological child, their biological child. And it takes time to grow a relationship like that. You just can't come in, you
Mhm.
know like a bull in a china shop, just saying, "I'm finna take over. I'm finna. You don't know what you're doing." Blah blah blah. I've done this, but you haven't though. And
Yeah.
so I'm glad that she had that conversation, because again, it takes time. Um, I really hate to see it when I've seen several times where especially when you're talking about when a lot of women will get married to a guy and they'll have children, you know, existing children that have been raised, but prior to them being in a relationship. And they automatically think that because they get booed up and they with the dude, that you got to start acting like this your new daddy. Well, you got to build that relationship, and those children have the right to say, I don't want to, I'm not comfortable, I don't want to be in this relationship. And you shouldn't want anybody to be like that with your child and take over like that. You should want them to have so much trust and honesty. You want them kids to fall in love with the person you fell in love with. But when this person is starting to take over, as a parent, you still need to step up and advocate for your child. I have a problem, and I'll say this until I ain't got no voice no more. I have a problem with women just automatically handing over the reins to a man because that's supposed to be your dude. Well, hell, I didn't sign up as the child for this to be my daddy. You the one in love with him, not me. And
Not me.
it's just unfair to your children to just automatically, like, I've heard people, they probably been dating dude for 2 years, and then your well established children who got their own parents, you want them to call him dad and stuff like that. Hell,
No,
you
don't.
got the right to be
Not do
called.
that. Not no, no, no. Dad, no,
No, you can call them
no.
something else. They ain't gonna call me by my first name. Well, what you want them to call you,
Now let me
fool?
let
That's
me
my
say
mama
this.
say.
Let me say this. I so I don't like the situations where the stepchildren call the husband or the wife Mr. or Miss. I hate that. It
Ooh.
it it just, for me, it burns me up a little bit because it's like y'all been knowing each other for 100 years now. Why are you calling Mr. this and Miss that? Like this,
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a southern thing. I don't know what that's about, but I kind of feel like can't come up with something else other than Mr. Charlie or Miss Irene? Like why why we gotta do that? I don't know. You done been married to my daddy for 25 years. Why am I calling you Miss Irene? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not like them
you
Braxton.
know, right. I just don't, it just, I don't know. It
Yeah. But see,
doesn't really.
that goes to show you where, and that's why I say all the time, handing titles to people is not a matter of respect. It's
No.
a matter of letting you know where you are in this relationship.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to pan out because Eric don't want to hear no baddies. Eric don't like to look and actually think that he might be the one that's wrong about something. So
No, he don't.
that's gonna be real interesting there. We're gonna see though.
Mhm.
Ryan and Clara both just lying to themselves. Clara said this relationship was a 10 out of 10. And
Well, she also coupled that with this is the best relationship that I have ever had. So, which
I
kind of
still,
shows me that maybe, I feel like they have a weird energy.
yeah.
I do. I don't feel that but maybe she's had bad relationships in the past, and maybe this isn't as toxic as maybe she's used to dealing with. Maybe that's the way I have to
Well,
look at it.
let's think about it. She does physical, and she
Right.
said that most of her relationship have led with a physical relationship where it probably started out sexual first, and then the feelings after it's sexual. But I
Yeah.
think that I don't think I can't rate for other people, but I couldn't tell you of any real time relationship where it's ever a 10 out of 10. That's what's
Oh no.
odd to me because even best relationships aren't a 10. You
No.
know, it might flow. You might get to a 9.75, but you're not gonna
Maybe.
get to a 10. It's not gonna be
You're gonna get to
perfect.
your 10 good. It's gonna be a problem. You ain't gonna like the way he chew his food. It's gonna be a problem.
Ask me where I eat dinner in a different row. But it's one of the things that those are things that you gotta understand about relationship. Even at its best, is never a 10.
Right.
Because there's always something to improve on.
Yeah.
There's something that you need to do. There's something they need to do. There's something y'all need to do as a collective. There's
Yeah.
something y'all need to, stop doing, work toward. So it's never a 10. It's never a 10. Um, I'm concerned for Clara that she's ready to just be settled down because she doesn't like rejection. I think it's less about wanting to be in love and more about tired of being rejected, because I feel like she's one of those over the top kind of people. I mean, you can
Yeah.
tell she
She's
way over there.
died down a whole lot though too.
Yeah, because
She,
she's
'cause,
sad and she's sexually
yeah.
frustrated. She ain't got no energy.
None. I still think that boy a virgin. I don't care what nobody say. He ain't had
I
none.
believe he is too. And I just want him to be honest because he's saying that he's been in 2-3 year relationships and no sex has transpired. And now this is coming from a sexuality coach. I understand where he is on the religious spectrum as well. Both my
But you
parents
but
are,
but you married.
and
So
that's where
they
my
don't have to
problem
do
is.
it. You
That's
married.
my problem. You said
You
you
on the
wanted to
show
get
when you got
married.
married.
Do what married people do, sir.
Be
I think
fruitful
the
and
other
multiply,
thing
or
that
not, but be fruitful. Look,
right. So I think that like we talked about this before too. He holds on to love, and listen. I'm gonna go back and find it, and I think it's the episode I had to delete. But I said he holds on to love, the L word, like women hold on to virginity, or like Iris was holding on to her virginity,
yeah.
and it's so like
Get that.
I don't know.
I don't get it, sir. Like, just do it. You
Just say,
married. You got.
just say,
I'm more. I don't let it. Just let it go.
mm-hmm.
Just let it go. Put the lime in the coconut and look. What the
Mix it
set that
all up.
thing
That's all.
I'm just
As
saying.
they said back in the day, you have to lick it before you
Before
stick
you
it.
stick it.
They said that.
I'm
So
just saying. You
I
gotta
ain't,
get in there, buddy.
he's hiding too much. He is, when you see that he's having a conversation with them, you can see the discomfort that comes across his face when they start getting into like the physical part, you know. Um, Pastor Cal was asking Clara, you know, do she think that he's going to, she feels like he hasn't said I love you and he's not going to, and she's concerned he's just gonna leave if she says to him that she loves him, she feels like that's gonna be the thing that make him run away. And then when she says that he won't give a timeline as to when they gonna get closer as far as physically, that's concerning as well, because now you're talking about, bruh, you don't know, like you don't have anything that rises up like in your chest, in your
when
belly.
I touch you, do you get hard?
So I got two things again. I got two things. He's a virgin and he may be asexual.
So you think him and Haley would be
a better match? They just sit there and be on different sides of the couch and stare at each other,
and they're okay with that.
Because people who are asexual don't think of sex and sexuality in the same way that sexual people do. Like you can be romantically attracted to someone and not sexually attracted. Can you understand that? Like, do you get that? And so,
yeah, I understand. I don't understand how they do it, but I understand because baby, I be ready to put the clothes on.
So, yeah, because there's the thing. There's romantic attraction, then there's sexual attraction. I think that he likes the idea of romance and things like that, but the actual wanting to put the physical with it is a thing that's probably not going to happen for him. I would be interested to see them talk to someone who really delves into, the actual sexuality part, because I feel like there's some unanswered questions that he has about himself. And it's not just as cut and dry as we all think it is, because, normal sexuality is, ooh, you cute. Something just revved up. Okay, I'm going to have to suppress it. I can't hold it back anymore. We're going to have to tip in the water, because right now, I don't know what's about to happen. That's usually how it goes.
Just a tip.
Flowers and candy coated dreams and things, and that's it. Okay, let's go to sleep. So
I almost want to, so you were talking about the religion aspect of it earlier. I almost want to say that maybe there is some programming there.
Yeah, but I don't know. So
let me say this, because you know how you have how can I put it? I'm not gonna go as far as to say the camps where they tell the kids not to be gay, but like some type of programming in there with the religious aspect of it, if that makes sense. The girl said, "Doesn't know where it go." I kind of feel like there is some type of I don't know, because it's something missing. Because you can't tell me, and I've never met an asexual man. Every man that I know likes sex and want to do it. Some of them can suppress it a little bit better than others, but for the most part, men want it. That's how I feel.
He ain't the only one that's been on this show that was asexual. It was another, I can't remember, some years ago, black guy, and he and that other girl. It was never said, but when you start looking at textbook stuff, right? Because that's what I do. Then I realized, you keep saying she's beautiful and I'm attracted to her and she's doing it, but then once you get to the physical part, it's like, wait, stop. And yes, religion, a lot of times the religious program has a lot to do with it. But here is where it falls differently from people who have been religiously suppressed. They acknowledge that there is a physical attraction there, but they have a commitment that stops them from going farther than that. It's like, I really want to just fight your butt right now, but I'm supposed to wait till I get married, or I haven't gotten to know you as much as I feel like I need to know you. But let me tell you, when I'm ready to bite your ass, I'm going to bite it. That's
Yeah,
usually the conversation that's happening. There's at least
what's
some type
happening
of
there?
sexual talk that's leading toward it, like, look, let's just play around, let's banter a little bit. But from what I'm gathering, he's putting the brakes on it. Like,
I don't, and this is my other thing too. I think he would be more inclined to give up the deed if Claire wasn't so willing to make sure that he was pleasured without
cared
him
of.
making sure that she was pleasured. I
Hmm.
really feel that way. But I wholeheartedly believe that that boy ain't never had none. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he's cherry picking this situation. But I feel like you should have went on a dating show and not on a marriage show. I just,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
Yeah.
that.
I think that's the thing. I want to say a lot of time, and that's just mainstream. Like we know heteronormative behaviors, right? We know, you know, and we're now starting to kind of delve into the sexual spectrum as it relates to the LGBTQ
I ate
I plus communities.
community.
There are so many people on that spectrum that they don't even know. Most people don't even know that they are on that spectrum
No.
until something like this happens. And then they come talking to me and I'm like, have you ever thought about this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, look, I need you to go to this website and see if any of this stuff works for you. And they're like, oh, okay. And so now it's like they have something to read off of to associate. And I can't diagnose nobody. I ain't nobody's doctor. I'm a coach, but I have resources that can help people kind of figure out that they're actually on a spectrum of sexuality, attraction, things like that, versus I like girls. Okay, cool. Well, what you want to do with it? Do you want to have sex with girls? No. Do you want to have sex with boys? No. Do you want to have sex with anybody? No. Well, what do you want to do? I want to hang out and I want to go to the mall with girls. I want them to be my girlfriend, but I don't want to be in a sexual relationship. Okay, cool. Let's talk about you have romantic feelings, but you don't have sexual feelings. That's a thing. So now that you know this, tell your partner so they can make the decision on whether or not it's okay for them to know that they may never be in a sexual relationship with you. And that's the problem. Especially we talking about men of color. They don't want to talk about it. They don't even want to know or anybody else to know that there could be a possibility that there is something outside of being heterosexual that they
Right.
can be associated with. Because people think either you straight or you gay. There's nothing in between, blah, blah, blah. And I'm here to tell you is a whole ass,
Oh,
that's
right.
why they have rainbow colors, because it's a
Yeah.
whole ass spectrum that everybody's on. You may present more as heterosexual, sexuality wise, what they call normative and all that kind of stuff, which is normal. I see people, the person I want to have sex with and pair bond with is person of the opposite sex, all that kind of stuff, and that's it. But on a better basis of all that stuff, most
Yeah.
people are on different spectrums of that sexuality level.
Yeah.
So she said, how did these people get mashed up? These things they
That's
did.
what we've been asking.
Exactly what happened. They had a dartboard and they just went, okay, cool. That's what they did. So if it
Eeny,
didn't get on,
meeny, miny, mo.
that's all
Catch
they
a
did.
tiger by his toe.
That's
If
exactly
he
what they
hollers,
did.
let him go. My mama
My
told me
mama
to
told-
teach this one.
This is what they did. They did to pick this one right over here, but I changed my mind.
There one right there. It's
I'm
a
glad
mess.
they changed their mind.
How, Sway? How did this happen?
That's how they do.
This is a
You
mess.
know, went to sleep. They went to sleep. That's what they did. Well, I'm just
Oh,
not gonna comment. Okay, anyway. Um,
we're gonna talk about Haley and Jacob.
Let me tell you something. We
Hold on, who did she sit down with? Oh, that got in her tail and she was gonna start crying. Who was it? Was she with Kyle or was she with?
She's in front of somebody. That was who did she see?
That's why I can't remember. That's so sad.
Let me go back and see. Let me look. Let me go through my 500 pages of notes. I
Did
wrote it
she?
down.
I'm trying to see if she said with Pepper or Cal. That's
I
so
sent
sad.
it to y'all.
I don't remember.
I ain't look. You ain't look at it.
I looked at it, but I don't remember. I watched it 2 days ago. You know what happened in 2 days?
I try to write it down, but I think she was talking to Dr. Pepper. And I think that Dr. Pepper was the one to tell her that Boo Thing, I see that he's making a lot of changes for you, but you're not really moving the needle on your end. And so what's up with that? And as soon as she started calling it out, she started putting her finger in her eye again.
Where are we being a Karen? Like, just say what it is. Listen, girl, I ain't had nothing else better to do at the house. It was the panorama. I was just sitting there looking at the wall, watching paint dry, whatever. Everybody else got booze in my life but me. I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah, just say all that and we would have been like, okay, cool. But the other thing is, like I said, she wanted them. I just needed to get, because folks keep talking about how she's acting and she didn't like the sex. I'm telling y'all, she liked the sex.
I told them that in the group.
She liked the sex. She just didn't want it that off. She just wanted that one sex.
That dust got knocked off. Them cobwebs got knocked out the corner.
Her layer into her cave somewhere and be done with it.
And she good for another 3-4 years.
At least. And so that's the thing that you got to also see. Let me tell you also, I think that she and Jacob have had sex since that meeting.
Since which meeting?
So when they were sitting on the couch at the end, the last scene or whatever, I think they had sex.
Okay.
Also, Jacob came up in
Huh?
I said Jacob came up in there with that beard, honey. He was like, "Look, I'm done with her. I'm finna a whole meal for somebody. I'm finna just
He had the beard action going on. You know? Yes. I said, oh yeah, you ain't shaved. You got all my little suit action.
Yeah. You said, do tell us why, because they were the body language where after she's had that conversation with Dr. Pepper and everything, and how they were interacting wasn't as awkward. Even though they were sitting on two different ends of the couch, you can tell that they were leaning their leg, even looking at body language. You know how they say when you like somebody, you cross your leg toward them.
And they seemed a little bit more comfortable. They were a lot more comfortable at that point.
Comfortable. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you want to eat? Could you please find someone who is not live right now to find you something to eat? Okay.
Could you 80 people in your house, and why they keep letting her break free?
She came back here. She got me some ice cream. She know we didn't have ice cream and cake.
Oh God.
See you later, okay? Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Oh,
no, you don't need chapstick tonight. Can I finish my live show?
Please.
Thank you. So anyway, the world, she ain't waiting for nobody. But yes, I think that it was less awkward, and I don't think that it was more so about the conversation as much as I think that they've had some physical run-ins lately. I think that they're if they stay together, their method is always going to be on the makeup method. We done broke up, we done had words with each other. We're going to have makeup sex and all that kind of stuff. Or, it's been 4 months. So I think it's time to
Yeah, tune up.
Yeah, it's a new season. I need to tune up. So I don't know. Just something tells me that that's just my spidey senses. So okay. So Paige and Chris, Dr. Pepper said he a narcissist. I believe it. Pastor Cal a better man than I am.
You
Because
know what?
I would
Cat, I
allowed a conversation to happen. You 45 minutes late.
minutes late. If I that girl said born Caucasian 6, I cannot. When he walked through the door, they had already said they were rapping. That should have been a rap. You didn't want to come. Why did you show up?
Yeah,
You were late.
Because I'm done. But the other thing is, so I've seen people in some of these other groups, like we've talked about these groups, right? I saw somebody, and Chris really got I was like, let me ask y'all women something real quick. Let me just ask y'all this. Y'all really on Chris' side about a lot of this stuff? Now, don't get me wrong. You are attracted to who you are attracted to. Point blank, period.
This is my question that I have for the groups, the women in the groups. Why do y'all keep saying Chris was honest? Chris was not honest. Chris slept with that girl. He said what he said to the people that were around him at that time. He did not say that to Paige. He's had sex with Paige. Then the next day created, because I feel like that's when he found out the girl was quote unquote pregnant. I don't think he found out when they was on the honeymoon. I think he found out that day, because word on the street is the family of the girl came up to the hotel and started some ruckus, which is why it took him 2 hours to come back with nothing, because I was hungry for her. I was hungry for her because he went to go get food and came back with nothing. So he was not honest with her until that moment. Now, here again, I still feel like Paige, baby, somebody tell them they don't want you the first time. You ain't got to tell me but once you don't want me. I will never go back there again. I'm not going to be chasing after you. I ain't going to be running after you. You said you don't like how I look, but you got my goodness last night. It's all good. Good. I'm just going to charge that to the game, homie, and I'm out. Production, what I need to do? How y'all need to take me? What the heck? And then you playing games because you said you're not attracted, but then you go and say, hey man, I'm feeling you. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall in love with you.
I might fall in love with you. That's why she was messed up. Now let's be totally clear. He's a classic gaslighter, which is when I feel like I no longer have control in this relationship, I'm going to say everything I need to say to get back in control, because I'm going to be the one to dump you. You ain't going to dump me.
Right.
And that's what all this is about. That's why she kept saying, I'm confused, because we all know that he's saying one thing and he's doing something else behind closed doors, because the first thing he started talking about was how nice her ass was. So that's going ahead and tell you that only thing that he concerned about is getting up in them asses. And so when it comes to that, that's why I've been telling y'all, don't be mad at, be frustrated with her.
I've been frustrated the whole season.
He's manipulative. He's been doing everything in his power to keep her under his spell. And the other thing is, Chris ain't won no beauty contest himself. So let me just explain something. Like I said, to whomever you're going to be attracted to. That's, I don't understand. I got a friend that love Lil Wayne. I don't see what she see in her, but baby, he just do something to her. Yeah, hey.
The Wayne powder?
Lil Wayne.
He look like a whole virus. What the heck? What
he does? He look like COVID and influenza got together.
I feel like I would catch the clap. I'm not even playing just by looking at. Okay, we're gonna start talking about Lil Wayne. All right,
but that's what I'm saying. So here's the thing. So you don't have to. My thing is, okay. Well, you're not attracted to her. Her initial physical attraction wasn't what you were looking for. However, you left it up to the experts to put you in a place, in a position to be with someone. You didn't say, I want her to look exactly like this, and this. I also saw somebody gonna say it's not a colorism problem. The hell it ain't.
Well, no, hold on. Let me say this. Let me back up. Brianna is about the same complexion, if not a little darker than Paige. He said, if I remember him in this episode specifically, this man said if they had paired me with Brianna, I would have been straight. He said that came out of his mouth. So I was like, now it may still be a colorism issue, but I feel like if they had paired him with Brianna, well, first of all, I don't think he could handle Brianna. Brianna really
a curve on day,
right?
About the day,
right. But he said that he would have been okay with Brianna. I don't think that, and Paige is not an ugly girl. She's not ugly at all. I don't believe that she's ugly. If there are some people who don't think Paige looks good, I got a problem with her lashes, but that's about all I have a problem with. Because whoever doing it for her,
trying to get it together, you know.
I just, trying
to figure out what works for your eye.
Look, that's why I don't wear them. But because I'm gonna be looking crazy. If don't nobody put them on for me, I'm gonna be out here looking crazy in the streets. Mm-hmm. So, but she's not an unattractive girl. She's very smart. And he said, this Coach Cal, whatever his name, Pastor Cal said, this is what you asked for. Mm-hmm. This is what we provided for you.
Right.
I feel like there's some beautiful black queens, beautiful white queens. First of all, the white woman don't want you.
No.
Get that out your head right now. They don't want you.
Yeah.
But I don't know too many
skincare regimen. Here's the other thing. This is a stressful time. I think Paige is one of those people who the stress starts to
show up in her
skin. So imagine
it does for me as well.
Somebody who in less than 24 hours and told you ugly as hell, but your body is banging. That's enough stress. Then, hey, I freaked out after I done had sex with you a few times because I realized I'm not attracted to you. And let me just top it off with, I done got somebody else pregnant and I think I'm still in love with her and I want to get back with her and all this type of stuff.
And I bought her a car. And I made buy her a house. You could have went with me to buy the car.
You could have went with me to buy the car. What kind of mess is that? So when you're talking about that kind of stuff, looking at where Paige is, being 26, and I think being 26, you don't have a lot of life experience under your belt, and I don't think she's been in very many relationships, and I want to feel like all the relationships she's been in have been centered around the church. I think it takes her a long time to make a decision. Let's go back to where we're talking about being programmed, right? So thinking that your job is to stick it out because you've made vows. Your job is to stick it out because you said that you were going to be committed to an 8-week process. Okay, cool. There hasn't been anything. You've done all these things. I want to show that I'm committed and that we can work through this if you give a chance. But the truth of the matter is, and I think one of y'all sent an interview where she was like, her family and friends did tell her to walk away. But she felt like that she needed to see everything through a little bit.
Let me say this. We are not prophets. Okay? No. We're not. There's a prophet that the Lord told him to stay married to a prostitute. The prostitute kept leaving him. He kept going back to get the prostitute, bring the prostitute home. The kids he was raising was the prostitute's kids with other folk. Hosea, Hezekiah, one of them. At any rate, guess who I'm not? I am not a prophet. Okay? I can't. I'm not gonna be able to do it. I don't know what I do know why he told. It was a lesson that was in that message, but that was for that man right there. That ain't for me. So in essence, Paige should have been singing this whole season. Try Jesus, please don't try me. That should have been her theme song for the whole season.
For the whole season. I think also reading the thing that this interview, she was saying something like where everybody kept talking about her being so religious. She admitted that she lost her, she almost lost all of her faith through this whole thing because she kept asking God why was she chosen to go through this particular step. And like y'all saying, God, like, I ain't do this one. But the other thing was, I was glad that Dr. Pepper told her to keep her boundaries, and in the future, do not accept missteps. Correct it right then. And then also, if they don't give you the respect and the admiration that you desire, then you walk off. You let that stuff go. So, like I said, a lot of times we have gotten used to thinking that there's a beauty in struggle love, but
There's a
that
trophy
story has to have it has to be tumultuous, and then it all of a sudden just becomes all this stuff. Everybody always talking about diamonds. Under pressure, you thought you was a piece of coal, and then somebody added the pressure. You was really a diamond in the rough. And no, let me tell y'all something. It ain't supposed to be that hard. When it's hard, it's something that you can't control. Like, my spouse got sick. Okay.
Ain't no we got sick, or we lost a child, or
happened. Yeah. That's the hard stuff. That's the hard stuff is, we were doing really well, and maybe both everybody lost their job. This past year, when people were losing their job, that's the rough stuff.
It's real struggle. We don't struggle the thing got to have it.
But you have the right, and I want y'all to hear me tonight on this Good Friday night. Listen, you have the right to demand to be treated right.
Period, Pooh. Period, Pooh.
That's it. You have the right to walk away from a relationship that does not serve who you are, and honor and respect who you are for what you are and for what you look like, for what you do, and anything like that. If it ain't improving you, then it ain't doing nothing for you. If it ain't making you better, then you don't need to be with them. Period. With them, with him, her, they, any of it. If it's not feel good to be there with that person, then be away from that person.
Away. And that's on.
Mary had a little lamb. I told you I pulled out 3 decks last night, and all of them was like break up.
Who?
So I don't know what that's for.
Maybe that's what message for somebody.
That's what
I ain't even got a possible. I was like, well, it ain't me, girl. What I'm breaking up with? Or who?
Break up with your job, honey. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's a friend. Hell, maybe it's your kids. I don't.
I'm breaking up with one of them next week for like 3-4 days. Praise God.
I recommend it. I highly recommend it. And I'm just, and that's the thing. I wish that, and we all grew up in the church and everything. We understand where the values lie when it comes to, having that religious foundation and everything. But you still got to make decisions on yourself, that works well for you, and stop relying so much on someone else to give you whatever God done gave you. She said that she was uneasy on day one when she got married. That was your sign.
God was trying to tell you something.
If you was trying to tell you something in my spirit the day that I got married. That was your sign, baby.
God was telling you then.
Now what you did was you were disobedient. Then you get the benefits of that. And instead of you having a marriage that flourished, you ended up going through something that you didn't even have to go through.
Because all you had to do was listen to the Lord as he was speaking to your spirits and saying, nah, because on the other end of that aisle, when he saw you, that man was like, oh, I was like, this is going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be a problem. He was like, I want a freak. I want a beautiful, da-da-da-da-da. That girl walked down the aisle. That man said, "OF." I was like, "Yep, this gonna be a problem." I already
And
know.
then also you got to look at where he come from. His mama don't look like she hold him to no type of anything. She don't
No,
hold
his
him
creepy
accountable.
daddy. No, his creepy daddy.
His
I'm just
daddy
told.
nasty. His daddy wish he was Ron Isley. Anyway, um,
Woo!
yeah.
Ooh, I can't
Anyway,
wait to read this Sunday. Oh, Ron.
so is
Okay.
we done? Are we done?
Yeah, we done. We got how many more episodes before decision day? We got 3 before decision day, so we got 4 left in the season.
Yeah. Um, that's where we are, y'all. Um, the crew probably be back next week. Everybody was sick and busy and everything, and we wish everybody well.
We do.
Um, I'm still not sure what we're gonna do. Ready to Love started last week. Well, they gave the preview of who all's participating. It actually comes on. The first official episode is tonight. Um, Love
Okay.
and Marriage will ended. There will not be a reunion, so they actually jumping right into Young Love Fix My Life. Her last 6 episodes. So we'll talk offline and decide if this is something that we want to review or if I'll just come and do a recorded situation.
I like
Um,
Ayana. That's my girl.
yeah, I really do like. I'm glad the show is ending because I'm pretty sure for her mental health, she just had to
Oh,
leave
she
these folks.
fine. She told them
Uh,
folks, no, I can't. It's abuse. She said that was abuse. That whole time she shot that show, that was straight up abuse.
yeah,
Because the majority of the time, people were not ready. They called, they begged, I want to be here, I want to do
yeah,
this. And she done told you what to expect. And you went through a process before you even got there. And y'all just going off on the girl, talking crazy to her, want to
yeah.
fight her. You know, and the younger said, well, I'm from the mean streets of Chicago. Let's do this. You know?
And on my own.
So,
I don't have time for this.
yeah,
So
she said, I'm retired. I'm going to do this podcast and I'm finna have a Coke and a smile and I'm good. I might write another book. Who knows? But I'm
yeah,
tired of it.
so that's where we are with this. So we're gonna continue to review Married at First Sight. So we'll see y'all at least next week to review that. If we decide to review these other 2 shows, then we'll see y'all either on Monday or Wednesday. But until then, we're just gonna see y'all later. Thank y'all for joining us. Say bye, Faith. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.